really just like front of mind is just like, don't get fired. Don't get fired. Keep your mouth shut. Don't say anything stupid. Don't give them a reason to fire you. And that fear lives on for about the first 6 months of this process.
Prepare your ears, humans. Happy, Sad, Confused begins now.
Hey guys, it's Josh. Welcome to another edition of Happy, Sad, Confused. Today on the show, it's Patrick Ball. You know him, you love him from the PITT, and now making his Broadway debut in Becky Shaw. Thanks, guys, as always, for checking out the podcast, for joining us on YouTube or Spotify, however you're doing it. I appreciate you guys, and remember to hit that subscribe button. Before we get to Patrick today, I want to remind you guys, as always, to check out our Patreon, patreon.com/happysadconfused. We have lots of cool, exciting events coming up, including May 3rd with Charlie Cox making his podcast debut on Happy, Sad, Confused, talking all things Daredevil. May 5th, Stanley Tucci, of course, talking Devil Wears Prada 2. May 17th, Billy Eichner joining me, all at the 92nd Street Y. All this information is in the show notes. Patreon.com/happysadconfused for discount codes to those events and more. Check it out. Okay, so main event today. Patrick Ball, this is a very cool conversation because I've been a big fan of Patrick's ever since I saw him on the PITT. I think everybody that's seen the PITT agrees with me there. Langdon, an indelible character. He kills it in this show. It has just completed its second season. And to hear his story, Patrick's story of how he kind of came to be a successful actor, it's not been a short journey. It's been a very circuitous journey. Struggled in New York, struggled in regional theater for many, many years, student debt. And now here he is. He's on Broadway, an exceptional new show called Becky Shaw, him, Alden Ehrenreich, Madeline Brewer. That's on Broadway through June 14th. I highly, highly recommend it. And also just killing it in the PITT. It's an inspirational story, I think, for any struggling actor out there, and just a good dude. We've been talking about doing this podcast for a while, so I'm glad we finally made it happen. So without any further ado, here he is, the one and only Patrick Ball. Patrick, we're doing this officially. You ready for this?
I'm ready. Let's do it.
We've been talking about doing this. We've kind of, been dancing around each other lately. We've met at a couple different functions.
Mm-hmm.
It's happening.
It's happening. It's happening.
I haven't really found many podcasts. Have you podcasted much, Patrick?
I'm a big consumer of podcasts.
Okay.
I don't think I've ever been on a podcast though.
I think you've done some short things. So this is where you let it all hang out. Tears will happen.
Okay. This can be unedited. This is
no edits. We're streaming this live to like the Jumbotron in Times Square. We're just basically going out with this.
Okay. Am I allowed to curse?
Yeah. Fuck yeah.
I'm allowed. Okay.
I did it first. Now you can feel.
Okay.
I have to say, congratulations first in order. The play is amazing, Becky Shaw. I got a chance to see this on Broadway, your Broadway debut. It's amazing.
Broadway debut.
We're going to talk about that. You're also in this little show called The PITT. Have you heard of it?
Have you watched it?
No. What's it about?
It's about this guy named Langdon.
From my perspective. Then there's a side guy named Robby who just jumps in occasionally.
Yeah. No, it's been awesome. We've been circling each other for a while now, so really stoked to finally actually sit down and talk.
There's a lot to talk about because you have a lot going on. And also I have to say, I've talked to so many people and everyone's career trajectory, their story is different. Yours is kind of fascinating. What's happened the last couple of years for you? And I want to dig into all of it. First, before we kind of give the history, just give me a sense of sort of how you are absorbing all of this. You're a couple of years in, obviously second season of the PITT, but also this is a huge moment being on Broadway. And this was not where your life was 3 or 4 years ago. Just how are you processing? How are you staying in the moment? Where are you at right now?
It's great. I mean, it's great to be on stage right now. It's great to be back in a play. This feels familiar. This feels closer to the life that I've been living for the last 15 years than any of all the newness of the PITT and going through all of the Hollywood sort of machine for the first time has been a huge. It's like new, just sort of drinking from the fire hose over the last year. But being back on stage and being back doing a play feels familiar and it feels great. And this is my first time doing Broadway. So this is a dream that I've been carrying since I was 16 years old back in North Carolina, and it's just great to be back with a cast And it's great. It's amazing.
And I think it is telling that, like, in the correct me if I'm wrong, the 2 hiatuses you've had in after the first season and the second season, or I guess after you've spent on stage. Like, that's what you did. You did Hamlet in L.A. last time, and now you're doing Broadway. And you're at this interesting stage where I'm sure there are more and more exciting potential opportunities coming around. How much is it strategic? How much of it is like, I want to, like, kind of, this is on the list to kind of get back to the stage and do this now?
Yeah, I mean, I need to start dreaming some new dreams, because all my dreams are coming true.
Right.
Like, getting to play Hamlet was, top of the bucket list for most of my life, and I was lucky enough to come out of season 1 and get the opportunity to do it in the middle of downtown LA at the Mark Taper Forum with one of my favorite directors, Robert O'Hara, who I think created a very cool subversive adaptation of Hamlet that was really cater fit to LA. And then I got to turn around and come off of season 2 and make my Broadway debut. And so these are both things that I've been dreaming about doing my entire life. And now I better come up with some new dreams or I'm
Maybe
done.
by the end of this, we'll manifest some other things. Okay, so let's go all the way back. Born and raised North Carolina.
Yeah.
Is there this in your family? Or are you the weirdo? Like, any performers? Give me a sense of sort of where you come from.
No, I'm definitely the weirdo. Everybody else in my family has real jobs and makes real contributions to the world.
Wow.
Both my parents are healthcare workers.
Right.
Mom's a ER nurse. Dad's a paramedic. My sister works for the public school system, doing adaptive technology for kids with autism. Her wife works at a psychiatric hospital working in autism. Brother is in North Carolina, drives a truck. Both of them have sort of started families and are living that real life. And I'm sort of the weird, loud one that is now sort of spinning off into fantasy land.
Before this last couple of years, were you the one they were worried about?
Oh, for sure. I mean, my mom lost some years off her life worrying about me, for sure. I was, I was sort of a problem child growing up. I got into a lot of trouble growing up, and I definitely made their life difficult. And now, I sort of moved to New York and said I was going to be an actor, and spent a lot of lean years chasing that dream. A lot of years of working 2-3 jobs at a time, living with 4 roommates, not knowing how I was going to make rent, eating a can of black beans for dinner every night. And, and Mom was worried. She was, as any mother would, she was worried that I was going up a path that didn't have any off-ramp.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Your parents, so you again, kind of jumping around a bit. So you eventually you do regional theater, as I understand it, for a while.
Yeah.
Kind of traveling the country. And I want to hear about that a bit. But you end up at Yale Drama School.
Yeah.
Not Juilliard, as I've said to you 3 different times at parties. I'm like, you went to Juilliard, right? And you're like, no, the other one.
The other one.
But my point is, I read somewhere that, like, they even at some point were like, you need to just drop out. Like, this isn't fruitful. Or was that not true? Or like,
that's not exactly how it happened. I happened to be, so I spent 5 years in New York. About half that time I spent on the road doing regional theater.
Okay.
And I got to play some great parts. I got to do All My Sons. I got to do Cat on a Hot Tin Roof. I got to do a handful of new plays. And I did a lot of growing up on the road. I learned what it meant to be a journeyman, sort of yeoman actor, and I learned sort of the grind of that, and I learned the art of what it means to sort of create a character and arc a character.
Yeah.
And after a while, it began to feel like there was a plateau that I was sort of stuck on, and I knew that I had this dream of being on Broadway, and it sort of kind of became clear to me that, like, I had been sort of sorted into a different category of work, and that if I wanted to work on Broadway, then I needed to sort of back up and come through sort of the system and get more training. And I also, while I was out on the road, I got to work with a number of actors that had come out of Yale, and I was just really astonished at the sort of craft that they had and the sort of toolbox that they came to work with. And I just knew that they were working in a way that I did not have access to, and it was something that I wanted for myself. And so I backed up. I was a college dropout, and so I learned that Yale did not require an undergraduate degree. You could get in on professional experience, and so.
And that's one thing you had. You put in your 10,000 hours on the road. I mean, right?
Yeah. And I didn't have a degree, but I had some life experience, and I'm actually really glad that I took that time to get that life experience, because then whenever you go to drama school and you're sitting there and you're working on these great plays, you're working on Williams, or you're working on Chekhov, you're working on Shakespeare, like you have actually had some lived experience to draw on, which is something that one of the great acting teachers of our time, Ron Van Loo, talked about. He had us in class, and we had spent a month working on Chekhov, and he just said to all of us, he looked at it, he's like, "You're all so beautiful, you're all so talented. You just need to go out into the world and get the shit kicked out of you for a while. Like, you just need to get some dirt under your fingernails." And I'm very, very proud of the dirt under these fingernails, because I think it's a big part of
what you can draw on now,
of what I can draw on. But and then whenever I happened to be in drama school during the pandemic, and they put us on Zoom school for a year, which was very depressing and very unsatisfying for everybody. And so I left and I moved to Alaska, and I was living in a shipping container in Alaska. I was working as
living in a shipping container?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Like they had converted a shipping container into this like little living quarters, and I was living in this camp of about 80 seasonal workers at this fishing camp in Bear Creek, Alaska.
Yeah.
And I was working as a night security guard at this fishing lodge, and I'm working as a night security guard in a place with 22 hours of daylight. And I spent 4 months sitting on the edge of the Resurrection River at the foot of Exit Glacier in the middle of Alaska. And I thought at that point, with the state of the industry, theater was going through a really hard time at that moment during the pandemic. A lot of people were closing down, and I was looking at the future and not seeing a lot of answers. And so there was a second there when I thought I was going to stay, but I'm really glad I didn't, because.
And not to mention, I know you've talked about this recently, like through Yale, you accumulate all this debt. Like, this is running a hefty bill for you, needless to say. Anybody that's been through undergrad or grad school knows what we're talking about. And you are an intelligent guy. You know what the path is and how hard it is to dig out from underneath all that. And correct me if I'm wrong, like, this also is impacting your just life, like as a human being, your relationships, everything. It must be weighing on you to a tremendous degree.
Yeah. I mean, for sure. It's so funny. I think I came out of school 80,000 down.
Right.
And as anybody that, most people at home, whenever they think of actors, they think of movie stars, they think of people in limousines and big houses and everything. But I'll tell you, I spent 10 years in a very different class of actors. Right. And I know the vast majority of people that do this for a living do not have the limousine and the big house. Yeah. They're working job to job. And you might book a great job. I might be going off and playing Hamlet in LA for 2 months, and then that job is over. Right. And then you're back to being unemployed, and that can be a very difficult lifestyle. That can be a very scary lifestyle. And whenever you're living with a sizable amount of debt like that, can be a really scary thing to know that you're going to be playing from behind.
Right.
forever, and that can be that can have a lot of that can add a lot of stress to every aspect of your life. So,
did you also feel like, I mean, the window was closing? Like you're not 25 anymore, but you're still a young man, but like you're not just out of school. Like you've been at it for a while. Like, did you put an end date on like, I've been putting so much of my life into this, but at a certain point, I hit 35, I hit 36, I hit 40. Like I just have to like reassess.
Yeah. And I was reassessing, and I was, I guess, a year out of graduating from drama school. I was catering events at that same drama school. I was at Yale catering sort of graduation events.
Right.
And then I had just moved back to New York, and I was working at a coffee shop. I was working at a restaurant. I was doing gigs here and there, and I was like, man, this is not cute anymore. You know what I mean? This is not cute anymore. Yeah. And so I was like, maybe I can learn welding. I've got some friends that are welders that make a good living doing that. I was applying to fundraising jobs. I actually got offered a job doing academic fundraising for High Point University back in North Carolina.
Okay.
And it was like a real job. It was like $100,000 a year fundraising job, and it would have taken me moving back home. Right. And in turning over an entirely different chapter of life. And I was like, you know what? Maybe it's time. Maybe this is what I need to do. And then the next day I got a call from Moises Kaufman to come do this play in Miami.
Right.
And I was like, man, just one more. I'm just gonna do one more, and then I'll make the change. And then I went down to Miami and did this play with Moises Kaufman, and I met Alicia, my girlfriend, and I was like, okay, well, maybe one more. Maybe one more after
Something
this.
good came out of that one. Maybe the next one will be even better. Yeah.
We'll be right back with more Happy, Sad, Confused.
All right, guys, I don't know about you, but this time of year always makes me rethink what's in my closet, and I'm trying to keep fewer things, honestly, and more importantly, better things in my closet. Pieces that are well made and easy to wear all the time. That's why I keep coming back to Quince. The fabrics feel elevated, the fits are thoughtful, and the pricing can't be beat, truly. They're using high quality, everyday essentials, and they're using the best premium materials, guys. 100% European linen. The flow knit activewear fabric is awesome. Their men's stuff, it can't be beat. Linen pants, shirts that are lightweight, breathable. The pants strike that perfect balance between, you want it laid back, but you want it kind of refined. They've hit the sweet spot right there. And their activewear is great. It's anti-odor, and it's soft enough that you'll actually wear it all day, which is huge. And the best part is that their prices are 50 to 60% less than similar brands. It's kind of crazy. So how do they do that? Well, they work with ethical factories, cut out the middlemen, and that means you're paying for quality, not the brand markup. Everything's designed to last, and it makes getting dressed well super easy. I'm wearing this because it's a little cool here right now, but I love this so much. This is my cashmere sweater hoodie. The weather's a little chilly here in New York, and I'm not complaining because it lets me wear this a little bit more. It's honestly the most comfortable thing I have, and the price truly can't be beat. So, refresh your wardrobe with Quince. Go to quince.com/happysad for free shipping and 365-day returns. Now available in Canada too. Go to quince, QUINCE.com/happysad for free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/happysad. So, prior to the PITT, obviously you're working a lot on and off, some rewarding gigs. But was there anything that you came close to that felt like it could have been the game changer before the PITT came around?
I think any actor that's been doing this,
they have those stories. They have a couple.
I think you develop the ability to forget.
Oh, is that it?
I think I think
you got to leave it behind, or else you'll go mad. Yeah.
I've probably done I don't know, thousands of auditions, and I've come close to some that and every time you get these auditions that come in and you're like, oh man, okay, this would absolutely change my life, but it would mean that I'd have to move to Nova Scotia for 6 months, and so I wouldn't be able to go to my friend's wedding, but that's totally okay, it's totally worth it because it's going to change my life forever. And then you sort of build out that entire vision for the future, and then it doesn't happen, and then you throw it away and you forget about it and you move on to the next thing. And I did that for 10 years, and so I came close on some big things, and the thing that was meant for me found me, because I ended up not being on a vampire show. I ended up being on a show that I really love and believe in, and it hits very close to my lived experience. So
of course,
what's meant for you will find you.
Okay, so let's talk about landing this. This is just another of 1,000 self-tapes at the beginning, as I understand it, right? Like, did you put any extra stock in this, given your parents, given anything, or was it just another thing to check off, to send in?
It really was. I think it was one of like 5 auditions I did that week. I read through the script and thought it was really cool. I didn't entirely understand it because it was very thick in medical jargon, as you know, and so I sort of like did the research that I had to do to basically understand the scene that I was reading, because it's not immediately apparent on the page. But then, I threw on a nice shirt, and not wearing any pants from the, sitting there in my apartment. I think I had COVID that week, so I'm like sitting there feverish and sweating in my room. I do the self-tape, I send it off into the void, never to be heard of again, and then I get a call the next day from my agent saying that they really like the self-tape and they want to do a Zoom call. And then I did a series of Zoom calls, and they flew me to LA, and it ended up changing my life. But at the beginning, I had absolutely no reason to think this was going to be any different than anything else.
The old adage is, any great actor can act sweating without their pants on a self-tape. That's what they always say, right?
Yeah.
And
that's year 2 at Yale School of Drama.
So they eventually fly you to LA for, it gets serious, obviously, by that point. Do you remember like being in the room and feeling like this could be real? Like, did you have a beat on Langdon once you got out there, you think?
It was really interesting. So for the first 2 rounds, we did just there were 2 scenes, and they were just like Langdon talking shit. I think there were scenes between like me and Garcia.
Right. And
Langdon to that point had been described to me as just sort of like the shit talking fun time doctor that you just like hate to love. Mm-hmm. And then I went through the first self-tape, and then I went through a Zoom call with New York casting, and then on the next call they wanted to put me on the line with Noah and Scott, and I was like, oh great. And I'm sitting in the park like 30 minutes before the Zoom call trying to like get my cool or whatever, and I'm sitting there with my girlfriend, and she was like, it's the same material, right? And I was like, yeah, it's the same thing, I'm ready to go, I just need to like stay cool and stay out of my head. And I was like, you know what, I should check though. And I opened the email and I looked through the scenes, and they had tacked on an additional scene, and it was the scene of Langdon getting fired for drugs. And up to that point, nobody had mentioned anything about the addiction aspect of this character. Right. And so I spent 20 minutes, I was like downloading that scene as fast as I could, being like, oh my God, like, and I got to learn this right now. And then I come in and I do it with Scott and Noah, and as soon as that addiction aspect came up, that's sort of like when I knew. I was like,
you can key into something.
This is for me.
Yeah.
This is meant for me.
So for those who don't know, I mean, you've talked about this openly. You're in recovery for about 4 years or so. I mean, was that something you made the creators aware of? Like, did you?
No, I didn't talk about that at any point during the audition process. I think the only thing that I even hinted at was whenever they flew me back for the final round, they flew me to LA to do like a proper sit down with John Wells, and right before we did the big firing scene, John turns to me and he goes, okay, well, we're gonna do the third scene now. If you need to take a second to get yourself in the zone or whatever. And I just said, John, I've been preparing for this my entire life. Let's roll. And I think that's the only hint that I gave them, that like that this was something that that hit kind of close to home. But yeah, we didn't talk about it.
You could very well easily the last couple of years not have talked openly about that personal aspect to your life. Like, why has it been important for you to kind of share that aspect publicly, you think?
Well, I think it's something that a lot of people in this country struggle with.
Yeah.
And I think there's a lot of stigma around addiction. I think there's a lot of stigma around people in recovery. And, I have no intention of presenting myself as a poster child for recovery or an example to follow. Like it's certainly I'm imperfect about it all the way down the line, but I think it's important to, talk about it, and that this isn't something that lives in the shadows or something that can be something to be ashamed of. This is something that is a shared experience amongst a lot of people in this country, and so I'm glad to be part of bringing that into public discourse.
What do you think the show is getting right that maybe other pop culture depictions of addiction and recovery haven't?
I think it can become a real suffering Olympic thing. It can become a really sort of and everybody's story looks different.
Right.
Everybody's story looks different, but it's not necessarily the person curled up on the floor or the person slumped over on a bus stop that is struggling with it. It's somebody that Yeah. I almost, statistically speaking, I almost assure you that somebody that is struggling with addiction, and it may or may not be super visible. And so I think showing that struggle of somebody that is fairly high functioning. I know that I've got many people in my life that are very high functioning, hold down very serious jobs, and are respected members in their communities that really suffer in silence. And I think that is a story that I don't see depicted a lot, and very, very glad to be given that opportunity.
So for all these reasons, your connection to it, the level of the material, the actors involved, you get the offer, you find out you get it. That must be a moment that you always remember. What do you remember about actually finally getting it, landing it?
It was amazing. I was sitting there with my girlfriend in Fort Greene Park, which is my favorite place in the world, and the process had been sort of dragging on, and I had expected to get the call one way or the other on a Friday, and I didn't get the call, and they said they were going to take the weekend. And meanwhile, I'm currently signed up to do this play where I was supposed to be playing Achilles. And I was like, man, if I'm going to play Achilles, I need to hit the gym. I need to put on some weight. I need to get big. But if I'm going to be playing this doctor, I need to not be hitting the gym. I need to look like a doctor. And so, but I'm running out of time here, and I need to make a decision. And we're sitting there in the park, and my girlfriend is listening to me just stress out in every different direction. and she just says to me, she says, well, Patrick, I think it's important to, acknowledge all these things that you got to sort out. But I think it's also important to just what would be cool about each one of these opportunities? What would be great about them?
Right.
Because I can get really sort of preoccupied with the problems.
Right.
And as soon as she asked me that question, my phone rings, and it's the call from the pit, and I literally lost it for a second, and it was a really beautiful moment, and it was really right on time. And then that beautiful moment lasted for about 15 minutes. And then I realized that I needed to move to LA in 2 days, and I had to figure out all those problems.
The practicalities jump in. Yeah. The dream is realized. Wait, I need a plane ticket. I need an apartment. I need.
Yeah.
Did you call? I mean, it must have been very emotional. Also, just telling family the financial side of things. You talked about finally knowing that you're going to be able to pay this this albatross that's been over your neck for years.
Yeah, and I didn't the reality of it's just impossible to understand how much your life is going to change at that moment.
Yeah,
it's impossible to really appreciate that. You immediately fall into, okay, what is the next right thing? What is the next problem I got to solve? And it really wasn't until I paid off those student loans in the fall, where I sort of saw that number hit 0, and I was like, whoa, like life, because you know, I got that call. I had to move to LA to start pre-production in 2 days. My girlfriend was currently in a play in New York, so I spent those 2 days watching her in her play. Had to find a place to live, had to figure out how to get an accountant, and you know, I'm moved to LA. I'm staying in this like little tiny studio apartment behind this family's home in Elysian Park, and then, you know, and then you're just like, okay, you show up for your first day of pre-production, and they're like throwing a bunch of medical jargon at you. They got a bunch of actual ER docs in there, and you're meeting all your castmates for the first time. And really, just like front of mind is just like, don't get fired, don't get fired. Keep your mouth shut. Don't say anything stupid. Don't give them a reason to fire you. And that fear lives on for about the first 6 months of this process.
Right. Well, that's the thing I was going to say is like, once you like, okay, you get the part you've been like dreaming of for years. You get the security, and then like the neurotic in you, in all of us, I would be this way, is like, okay, now how do I keep this going? How do I like maintain the momentum? How do I like make this not a one trick pony? Are you relaxed enough to feel like, okay, I have security, I've paid off what I have this, the Broadway show is going great, like things are moving in the right direction. I don't have to have the kind of anxiety that's been part of my life for the last decade. Has that alleviated a bit?
Yeah, yes and no. Yes and no.
Yeah.
Like, I think, you know, this too shall pass. You know, and I have been on the ride long enough to know that like I'm in this moment of incredible abundance,
yeah.
and this will pass. But I feel very lucky to be on this show and to know that like Langdon's story is going to have a third act, and I feel like I have writers that understand that and have been so successful at making television that spans over time like this, and I'm in love with this character, and I'm in love with this story, and I'm in love with this world that we're building, and I would be in love with it if I wasn't in it.
Right.
Like, I think it's a show that I really believe in, and I'm very excited about being able to come back to this year after year. But as far as like, you know, do I think necessarily that Broadway is going to call again next year? I don't know. I hope so. Like, I hope I get to do a movie at some point,
yeah.
But none of these things are guaranteed. And, you know, I've been around long enough to know that.
So wait, before we dive a little bit more into like the character stuff and the actual narrative of the Pit, I'm curious, we didn't talk when you were growing up, like what you were into. Obviously you were a theater kid, but like what were the movies, the actors, the genres, the franchises, like posters on your wall? Give me a little bit of a snapshot of what you loved as a kid in terms of pop culture and TV and film.
Let's see, posters on my wall. I had Johnny Cash and Bob Dylan and Frank Sinatra.
Nice.
The hits,
yeah.
the greats. I think the movie that made me want to become an actor was One Flew Over Cuckoo's Nest. Fell in love with that movie and in love with Jack Nicholson. R.P. McMurphy is, I think, you know, one of the
great
greatest characters ever written. And then I remember watching There Will Be Blood, and so whenever I was in high school, from age 16 and into college, from age 16 to age 21, I worked at a movie theater. And it was not the nice movie theater in town. It was sort of like the $4 cinema.
Yeah. And
I would sweep up popcorn in between the different showings, and I would sneak into the back of all the different movies. And so for 5 years or so working at this movie theater, I got to watch literally everything that came out. And I don't know if that's necessarily how the dream began, but I very specifically remember sneaking in the back of that one summer when There Will Be Blood and No Country for Old Men came out.
Yeah,
and
that's
just
like
watching
2007 or something, I think. Yeah.
I probably watched both those movies 15 times.
you lucked that into a really good summer, like a good year.
Yeah.
All right, let's just jump back into the pit, because like there's so many great relationships, like how Langdon kind of interacts with a few of the characters I want to hit. Like you working with Issa, who's also on Broadway right now, we should say, in Just in Time, very cool. But I mean, the friction, the tension between Langdon and Santos is so delicious. It really comes to a head this season. I think it was in episode 11. What do you enjoy about kind of mixing it up with her in this season especially?
It's great, and I hope we get more of it moving forward. I think this relationship between Langdon and Santos is incredibly interesting. These are two characters that have a lot in common, that for whatever reason are just like two magnets face the wrong direction, and they just sort of rub each other the wrong way right from the very beginning. And I think there's a lot of story left to tell there. I think there's a lot of water in the well, and I'm excited to see what comes of that relationship moving forward. And Issa is, one of my best friends on the show. We hang out all the time. She's become great friends with Alicia, and we got to go see her do her thing in Just in Time, and she was amazing.
Yeah.
And it's fun. Like we're both theater kids, and there is a different vibe to people that started in the theater, of just being able to sort of collaborate and jam, and also have Issa comes from a theater family as well, and she's talked about this, about her dad John Briones is theater legend, but whenever she was growing up, they had not made it necessarily. They were working actors, but they were not in that place of security yet. And so anybody that has spent a life in the theater like I have, and like she has, and like her family has, knows that this is yeoman's work. This is journeyman work. This is not all limos and big houses and red carpets. This is humble work. And you feel that when you work with Issa, and I really, really appreciate that.
Is there hope for Langdon and Robby at this point? A lot of water under the bridge, a lot of tension throughout. I mean, the season ends with Langdon kind of like giving it right back to Robby, kind of like saying, you're the one that actually needs to help himself, needs some help. Must be delicious to work with Noah, but like, I don't know, what do you see? Do you see a future for those two to kind of reconcile?
Yeah, I think it's going to be different. I think at the end of season 1, you see this very close friendship, this mentor-mentee relationship. I think Langdon spent much of his life wanting to be Robby and wanting to grow up and be exactly like his mentor. And I think that relationship got severed at the end of season 1. Yeah. And I think he came back in season 2 trying to reclaim that relationship, and that it became very clear that things were never going to be the same. And I think over the course of season 2, you see Langdon come to terms with that and realize that. And in the finale, you see that confrontation and be like, okay, I accept. We will never be the same. You need help. I hope you get it. And also, like, I hope that this relationship can continue to be a positive one and a healthy one. But we're both going to have to change in order for that to be the case, because I'm not going to be the only one holding the bag. Yeah.
There's so much. I know you've talked a little bit about kind of like maintaining a little bit of a distance with like all the social media, all the fan interactions, because this, obviously, the show has quite the following in terms of whether it's fan theories or takes or whatever. I mean, this year there's been so much like narrative. I don't know how plugged in you are of like, wait, is Robby an asshole? Is he like the villain of the pit? Like, have you tracked that one? What's your take on Robby as, I don't know, good or bad dude on this show?
I think this show does a great job of pushing back on the good or bad dude binary. Like, I think everybody is flawed, and I think everybody is equally flawed and equally redeemable. I think Robby is a character that carries a lot of responsibility. He carries a lot of responsibility for a lot of people, and I think that that is true to life. And I think anybody that does this work for real knows that you have to put your own needs aside frequently in order to attend to the needs of others. And I think that Langdon has been very privileged to, in a weird way, has been very privileged to not be in the pit for the last 10 months.
Right.
And to get the help that he needs, and to be able to sit down and face what he is going through. And I think that is a luxury that Robby has not been afforded. And there is work that he needs to do for sure, but he has to continue to show up every single day in the pit and jump on the grenade and respond to trauma after trauma after trauma, and have an entire staff that he is responsible for their training and education and sort of maintaining morale amongst that staff and attending to the needs of both his staff and his patients. And that leaves very little room for him to face what he needs. And I think that's very true to life.
Right.
I think that's very true to life, and I think that is a sacrifice that people make that do this work. And I think that's why you see the burnout rate among healthcare professionals as high as it is. I think that's why you see the addiction rate in healthcare professionals as high as it is, and the suicide rate. This is a population that suffers at a disproportionate level to the general population. I think it is because it's a very difficult line of work, and it doesn't leave a lot of room for self-care sometimes.
More Happy, Sad, Confused coming up.
All right, guys, spring is here, and before you know it, it's going to be summer. And I don't know about you, but time is absolutely flying by. My daily schedule is totally out of control, even as I want to prioritize my health. And honestly, Huel has been a lifesaver for me. Like all of you, I'm sure I'm always trying to find ways to up my protein intake in a way that's quick and easy and, yes, satisfying. Huel is solving all of those issues for me, and it just makes my life easier. This is a daily staple for me. This is Huel's Black Ready to Drink edition. This is the chocolate peanut butter. This is delicious. I love all the flavors, though. It can't get any easier than this. You take this, it's a meal, it's delicious, and it has everything. It's under $5. 35 grams of protein. It's gluten-free. There's no artificial sweeteners or colors. It's got 27 essential vitamins and minerals. It's everything you need, and that really takes care of me when I'm on the run. When I have a little more time, though, I try the Black Edition powder, which is great too. It's got all the same stuff I love in this, all of the delicious flavors and the high protein, but you can also add to that like almond butter or ice and just thicken it up a little bit if you're in the mood for something like that. For me, most importantly, it's all about stuff that tastes good, and this stuff tastes great. It makes me feel good, and it's easy. Huel is all of those things, and because of that, it's letting me stay consistent with my diet, which is huge. Here's the great news. We've got a limited time offer for you guys today. Get Huel today with my exclusive offer of 15% off online with my code HAPPY15 at Huel.com/happy15. New customers only. Thank you so much to Huel for partnering with Happy, Sad, Confused. And remember to fill out the post checkout survey to support our podcast over here. Where are you at in terms of delivering actual medical care today? If I have like a spinal adjustment a la second season of the Pit, could you align me, get me back in shape?
No, but I know who to call. I know a guy.
Do people mistake you for, I mean, people are smart enough, hopefully, to know that you're not a practicing ER doctor, but do people expect you to have medical knowledge?
Well, I play the screw up of the show, and so.
But you're very competent for a screw up.
Yeah, I don't think I would be the people that nobody would ask me. Nobody would ask me. They might ask Noah. They're not going to ask me.
Where are you? The people want the night shift spinoff. Are you pro night shift?
Oh man, I love the night shift. I think so many great characters on the night shift, and very excited that Ellis is going to be getting in the action more next year. Aisha's great friend, love her. Ken Kirby, great friend. Sean Hattie, obviously iconic. Yeah. I think the world that Scott and John have created here is just like, it's like a whole cinematic universe, and I think there are a lot of stories to tell.
Langdon at Home, a sitcom maybe about what's going on.
Why not?
Right?
Sure.
Langdon really needs a laugh track at home. That's what I think. We need to meet the wife, meet the kid.
Like a nice multicam sitcom.
Classic 90s, Family Matters,
Yeah.
but with Langdon.
I hope it would be a sitcom. I hope it would be a sitcom.
How much are you creating in terms of backstory and what's going on outside of the lines versus what they've told you? Do you know what I mean? Like,
you gotta stay loose. You gotta stay loose.
because you don't want to come up with a narrative and then be like, oh, actually, no, this contradicts your story.
Because as Noah said to me in season 1, they're writing as they go.
Right.
And like this is not the Dead Sea Scrolls. This is an organically developing story. And so if I get too specific about writing myself a backstory, and then I play that backstory, and then we get a year down the line and they're like, oh wait, actually none of that is true. That can be a problem. So you keep it flexible.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I had conversations with Scott about what that 10 months away looked like. And yeah, I think it was hard. And I hope we get to learn more about it. I hope we get to learn more about the family at home and my wife Abby and 2 kids. And I think the growing up as the child of 2 healthcare workers, that was my vantage point. Like in season 1. In season 1, when Langdon gets on the phone and calls home and wants to talk to his kid because they've just had this traumatic event of the little girl that drowned in the pool, and everybody in the pit is sort of shook up by it. He calls home to sort of get himself together, and it was, whenever we were filming that, it was a really profound moment to realize, like, oh, I was the kid on the other end of the phone. And so I think my lived experience is knowing very well sort of like how the work that is done at the pit has residual effects, or how it carries into the other aspects of someone's life.
Sure.
And I hope we get to learn more about that.
Yeah. I want to give folks a little bit of a tease for those that are in the New York area or coming. Do the best you can to see Becky Shaw, because this is a really, really great play. We tease it a little bit. I got a chance to see it. It's a great small ensemble. I think I was there like when you and Alden met for the first time at a random party. Like you were like
at the Golden Globes party.
Yeah. I'm like, oh, you guys have met before, right? No, we're meeting for the first time right now. I'm like,
yeah.
I'm witnessing history. Here it is. You guys are both exceptional in this, as is Madeline Brewer, Linda Emond, the whole cast. Let's tease them a little bit of like the show. I was unfamiliar with this work. Kind of a dysfunctional, fucked up family. Mm-hmm. You're kind of ostensibly the good guy, nice guy, wants to help people out.
Ostensibly.
That word is doing a lot here.
Yeah.
Kind of reminded me a little bit of like Neil LaBute back in the day, like those like people being cruel to each other.
It's from that era of dramaturgy, for sure.
Right, because it's set in what year? It's set in like
2009.
Right. Did you know this work prior to it coming to you? Give me a sense of like what you fell in love with about this play when you got it.
Yeah, I wasn't familiar with it before. I got a call from my agent, and he was like, hey, there's this play that's sort of come along. It's Becky Shaw by Gina Gianfrido. It had an off-Broadway run back in 2009 that was a real moment. Like it really had a moment, and it sort of was maybe a casualty of the financial collapse, and so it never made it to Broadway. Right. But it was a real moment when it came out. It was a finalist for the Pulitzer. It's like a really smart bit of writing. Give it a look. Let me know what you think. And so I spent a week with it, reading through it, and I was immediately struck with how smart this play is. And there's a real conversation around sort of the various ways of power play, like the covert power play versus the overt power play. There's a real conversation around codependency and various forms of attachment there's a conversation around the role that money and transaction plays in relationship, and all of that was just like really juicy. And one thing that did not really occur to me from reading the play was just how funny it was.
Oh yeah.
And then we got working on it, and in rehearsal, I think first week of rehearsal, I said to Lauren, I was like, man, I think this play, more than any play I've ever worked on, I think the audience is going to tell us what this play is. And then we got into previews, and an audience told us what this play was, and we had to learn, because all of a sudden you've got this audience that is adding the laughs and the shape and the rhythm of this play in a way that is impossible to predict. But it's just an unbelievably built play by Gina, and just like the tension and release and the balance of like the deep sort of like probing thematic psychology of the play, and sort of like the taut comedy and the rhythm of the play is just like truly a masterclass by Gina.
Yeah, I mean, Alden was saying to me even that it's like from show to show, it's like you can feel the audience like on the side of a different character.
For sure. Like there are nights where the audience is very Team Max. There are nights when everybody is very Team Becky. There's nights when there's Team Andrew. We also like this being a dark comedy. There are some nights where it's 1 part dark and 4 parts comedy. There are some nights when it's 4 parts dark and 1 part comedy. And that's the great thing about doing live theater like this, is it's like it depends on what night you came.
Right.
It is a night to night experience, and that is really, really exciting.
Do you like to know the random celebrity you may or may not know that's coming, that comes backstage? I'm sure you've had a couple of moments already where it's boggled your mind, like, oh my God, this person just saw me do my thing.
Yeah, and I think that is a product of getting to work with really great castmates. Like Alden has a bunch of very fancy friends. Lauren Patton and Linda Eman are theater legends. Yep. Linda has worked with literally every legendary actor you could name. And so, yeah, we've had some pretty jaw-dropping.
Is there one that kind of sticks out? Like, this is a moment for people, you just met Paul Bettany, you crossed paths with Paul.
Yeah.
You're getting this a lot the last year or two, where it's like these actors you grew up with are like, I'm obsessed with your show, I'm obsessed with you. Like, it's got to feel nice.
Ellen Burstyn came through the other day.
Doesn't get much more,
which was
than that. Yeah.
Pretty iconic.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. I had one of the guys from Elevator Repair Service came through.
Okay.
Great downtown.
Okay.
Downtown theater legend. Yeah, we've had a lot of people cycle through.
All right, so big picture, looking forward, you're gonna be busy because I think you go like straight from this production back into season 3.
Yeah,
like literally like the next day, essentially.
I think it'll probably be the next day.
Okay, yeah. So you don't have much time to do more, but you'll have other breaks. Anything we want to manifest for you? You checked off Broadway. I'm sure you'll be back, but we got to pad out we got to get some films on there. We got to get some new kind of experiences. Who's on your short list? Filmmaker, actor, kind of experience. What are you chasing?
Oh man, I got to meet the Sentimental Value team at that party, which was really iconic. I love to work with every single one of them. Would love to work with Ruben Östlund and Paul Thomas Anderson and Ryan Coogler and Chloe Zhao. My life is insane because I actually got to meet a lot of these people over the last year.
Well, and they know you and they appreciate you. It's not just like you're meeting them as a fan; they're fans of you, which is crazy.
Well, I still identify very much as one of their fans.
Well,
but yeah, no, it's been crazy. So yeah, I mean, I guess that's the only dream to knock off the bucket list at this point is doing a movie.
Are you a singer in musicals, or though Issa's obviously that's her. That's what she was born to do. Do you have that?
I can sing Johnny Cash.
Okay, that's
but
pretty good.
no, that's about it. I can sing a country song.
All right, we're gonna end here. The profoundly random questionnaire for you, Patrick. You ready for this? Dogs or cats?
Oh man. Okay, so I've spent my whole life identifying as a dog person.
Yes.
And also as a dog myself. But I've had to accept that my lifestyle does not lend itself to being a dog owner. And so now I am the proud live-in uncle to a cat, a little tuxedo cat named Otis.
You only have uncle privileges, though. You're not a dad.
So Alicia, my girlfriend's best friend, Emma, lives with us in LA.
Got it.
And Otis is her cat.
Got it.
And I am the proud live-in uncle that gets all the benefits of having a cute, adorable cat and absolutely none of the responsibilities.
The dream. What do you collect, if anything?
What do I collect? I have an incredible collection of these friendship bracelets now. I'm not exactly sure. Oh, so Langdon wears a friendship bracelet, wears a dad bracelet in season 1. And the PITT fandom has really caught on to that. And I guess starting during Hamlet, people started bringing me these friendship bracelets to the stage door. And now that has really caught fire. And so now every night after Becky Shaw, I come out to the stage door and I have literally thousands of these friendship bracelets. And so I have quite a collection.
More friendship bracelets or Crocs at this point in your collection?
I have Croc Gibbets are the other big collection that I have. But I think I literally have probably 1,000 of these things.
A favorite video game of all time?
Witcher.
Oh,
Witcher 2.
Witcher guy. Okay.
Witcher 2.
Okay, nice. The Dakota Johnson Memorial question. She asked me this. I ask everybody, would you rather have a mouthful of bees or one bee in your butt?
A mouthful of bees or one bee in my... Wow. Dang. No correct answer there. I'm going to take it in the butt.
Yeah. Thank you for that. I'm just going to let that lie. Everybody take that in for a second. What's the wallpaper on your phone?
It is a moon bow. Me and Elisa and her friend Emma, whenever we wrapped season 2, we took a trip out to Death Valley together, and we sort of sat out. We went camping, and we made a little campfire, and we sat out there and sort of just like recapped on the journey that had just been concluded. And we looked up, and there was like a perfect full moon with a perfect sort of moon bow around it. And I took a picture of it, and that's the background on my phone.
Who's the last actor you were mistaken for? Ever happen?
Alden Ehrenreich. Because sometimes we come out to the stage door, and there are people that want to get autographs so that they can sell them, and they show up with like their big boards to get autographs, but they haven't seen the show, and they honestly do not care who I am. And so I will walk out there, and they'll try to get me to sign pictures of Han Solo, and I say, no, that's the other guy. That's the other guy.
It's a collector's item to have it signed by you, though. What's the worst note a director has ever given you?
The worst note? Yeah. Pass. No, pass. No comment.
It's too close to the bone. Just too.
Well, I don't.
You don't have to name them.
I don't know. I think it's an actor's job to figure out how to translate any note.
Okay.
Like a director has their eye on the bigger picture, and they might speak a different language of you. Like they might say, okay, don't move so much, stand stock still, and turn your head a little bit to the right. And that's because they have a composition that they're looking after, and they have an edit that they're looking after. And it is my job as an actor to figure out how to take that direction and activate it into something that is truthful and playable.
Yeah, that's the job, to translate their technical note into something that feels human and
exactly.
relatable.
But you
Yeah.
want them focused on that
The
big
big
picture.
picture.
You want
Yeah.
them focused on that composition, and it is my job to take that and translate into something that allows me to do what I need to do.
Finally, in the spirit of happy, sad, confused, an actor who always makes you happy. You see them on screen, you're in a better mood immediately.
Keanu Reeves.
Oh, I love that. Yeah. What's your Keanu? What's his Matrix, Point Break, all the
Okay, we can circle back to one of your earlier
Yeah.
questions.
posters on the wall? What?
Posters on the wall. The Matrix, I don't know if I had the poster on the wall, but that was another watershed moment for me. I think that is one of the great movies of all time, and I don't think it gets enough credit.
Yeah. They're going to make another Matrix, Patrick. How about your film debut in a Matrix movie?
Done. Done. I'll do it for free.
That wasn't an offer. I'm not entitled to do that, but if I could, I would offer it to you.
Please. Tell your friends.
Hashtag Patrick Ball Matrix movie. When? A movie that makes you sad.
Movie that made me sad. Drive My Car.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, yeah. And finally, a food that makes you confused.
A food that makes me confused.
Yeah.
Mochi.
Oh, yeah.
What is it?
I can't give you the definition. It's soft and gooey and, yeah,
What is it? Is it ice cream? Is it a bean?
somewhere in between.
I've been told that it is a bean, but it does not seem like any other bean I've ever seen in my life.
We'll leave it there. Okay, not that folks need reminding, but The Pit, it's got a few fans, but if you haven't checked it out or know what you're doing with your life, check it out on HBO Max. But also, truly, I think through, mid-June, we have Becky Shaw on Broadway, something like that? Okay, get your tickets now. A great performance, a great ensemble, a great play. I loved it. It's very funny, very dark, very much up my alley. Patrick, you've been podcasted. We did it. How do you feel?
We did it. I'm so happy. I'm so confused.
Not sad, though.
Not sad, though.
Good.
All around great experience. We'll do again.
5 stars.
5 stars.
On Yelp. You'll
Yeah.
rate it? Thanks, buddy. Appreciate you.
Thanks, man.
And so ends another edition of Happy, Sad, Confused. Remember to review, rate, and subscribe to this show on iTunes or wherever you get your podcasts. I'm a big podcast person. I'm Daisy Ridley, and I definitely wasn't pushed to do this by Josh.